Welcome back, Lakaya. How are you?
Welcome back, guys. I have been very excited, very just full of joy, and it's because of literally 9 hours. What was it, like 8 hours ago? I don't even know. But yesterday was the Super Bowl, the halftime show. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the game. Like, who cares about the game? Game, man. Like, we
Maybe
are.
there was a concert or something, and like maybe there was some football, but anyway.
Usher headlined the Super Bowl halftime show. We've not said anything. So let's go.
We've had no
Thoughts.
conversation. And this
We've
is
had
our
no
raw,
conversation.
unfiltered, unsolicited, unpracticed, authentic thoughts right off the rip. I have been dying to talk to Lakaya about this. I want to start off with the positive. I want to start off with the positives because there were a lot. Ultimately, as we said before, this is the first R&B Super Bowl, in our opinion. Like the
Mhm.
pure R&B. Obviously,
Yeah,
there's other R&B artists who have done
yeah,
Super Bowl,
yeah.
but it's been mainly, focused on their pop music and more of their pop career. Usher is undeniably, a very versatile artist who's done all sorts of genres of music, but the most popular music, the number ones he's known for, are his R&B songs, and this was a celebration of that. So just that alone made me feel so proud to see R&B, this genre that I love, on the map this way. It was so great. I want to also shout out her because
I just want to jump in and say, still the worst stage name. Don't care. Anytime it's mentioned on this podcast, I'm gonna say it's the worst stage name. Like her. Sorry.
it's very crap, but the talent that has, she killed it. She was amazing. She was amazing. Like, it was so exciting to see her do her thing, and she's so young and so talented. And she looked fantastic. So shout out to her. Another positive for me was the Alicia Keys and the My Boo. That was a lovely moment. And now I'm gonna let you talk about your positives.
I want to start off, first of all, by saying the only thing that me and Khalifa spoke about before this was saying, like, when you're good, you're good. If you've watched our predictions episode, there's a lot of things I predicted, and tick, tick, tick. So that
Fair?
just shows that obviously the girls are paying attention to Sheena and Kal and Lak, because I said,
He
I
says.
said, Real I Am, because obviously Usher did OMG when Black Eyed Peas did their Super Bowl, and you were like, really, that might be a bit corny. I was like, well, I think they might do it. I said 1000% Lil Jon and Ludacris, who were there.
Fair.
I said, we both said the yeah moment with the dun, dun, dun,
We did.
what happened? And what happened? I think there was something else. Oh, I said Alicia off Keys. I said Alicia off Keys is going to be there to
I think
do
that
my
you got
boo.
it back with the oh no
That was
no.
you. You called that, and you also said superstar. So fair. So we obviously we know what we're talking about. So
We've been new. Get us on your teams because we know what a good show makes.
there you
So, what were
go.
your highlights?
My highlight was the her. Oh, I don't. What's her name? What is her name? I don't want to say that anymore. But
My
she
girl.
was a highlight. She was fantastic. She looked amazing. She played fantastically. She looked amazing. She just looked so effortless with it. Loved it. Loved her. Um, Another highlight was just the vibe, the atmosphere, the. I loved the contrast. That's the first thing I really thought of when I was watching it was, wow, the contrast from this year's performance to last year's. Like, this is
Mm, big
so
production.
something
Mm.
huge. Yeah, like last year's was very minimalistic. This is huge. It's like, oh my gosh, everything. Usher through everything, kitchen sink, like everything. But I loved that showstopper vibe that it had. The feel that like a true superstar, no pun intended, is on the stage. Another highlight was Usher and Alicia Keys. Seeing Usher and Alicia off Keys together, like they ran the noughties, like they were so important. They still are,
Yeah.
but like just to see them together, like how cute they were. Highlight. Um, Another highlight was Usher on his own. Like I loved the section when he did "Burn" and "You Got
Mhm.
It Bad."
The
Um,
mic was on.
the
The
mic was on.
vocals, amazing.
The mic, the mic was on. I also loved the skating. Like that's never
Mm,
in the first time in Super Bowl history. Like has that ever happened? I don't think it has. Like skating on the fucking
exactly.
Super
On such a
Bowl.
small space as well. Like it was so well done. It was
The
really, really good.
talent, the
Yes.
talent, the versatility, the showmanship. I loved that. So those are like my key like highlights throughout the
Fair.
show. Oh no no no! Actually, maybe my number one highlight was Lil Jon
Fair, okay.
because as I was
Stand the upper
thinking,
what?
as I was watching it, and then when obviously I knew we was going to do this episode. One thing I love about the Super Bowl when artists bring artists on stage, and those are the ones that they're fantastic and they're great, but they couldn't do it on their own. Like Lil Jon could not have a halftime show, but Lil Jon, he's one of those artists that you don't actually realize he's so like unanimous and then with like turning up, partying, celebration. Like anytime you
Ooh,
hear his voice, you're like, okay,
distinct voice. It really does get
yeah,
you in. And I think the show needed it. I think it needed a lift, and that's what little
absolutely.
got. So I was happy to see him. He looked well. He looked
He
really
looks
well.
amazing. Ludacris's
Yeah.
afro, another maybe the biggest highlight. Like Ludacris is so fine anyway, but just to see a huge afro on stage, like loved it, loved it.
Now,
Now, okay, you this is so.
I've been really, really trying not to be negative because, like I said, this Super Bowl is so important for Usher and for R&B music for Black people. However, I
Oh,
just felt like there was just this lack of energy from Usher. I don't know who pissed him off. I don't know what bad news he got. It was giving confessions. It was like somebody called him and it was like, put that on everything. Like it was literally like somebody had just given him the worst news of his life and he had to go and perform straight away. Like for most of the performance, he was looking at the ground. He didn't engage with like the audience, he didn't engage with the camera, he was just so in his head. And I was just begging, like, please, Usher, get out of your head, shake it off, whatever it is, shake it off. I don't know if it was like maybe a costume design fault or something, or the lighting, or maybe you had to cut a song or whatever it is, but shake it off. Be a professional and give us a performance. Like everything from the neck down, the way he danced, the outfit, the big production behind him was all there. I love that it was like Vegas themed in Vegas. It just felt so right.
yeah,
Everything else was perfect apart from Usher himself. And I think no matter how great the rest of the show are, Alicia Keys, Little John, Ludacris, her, no matter how great all of that is, like you were the anchor, everything centers around you. If you're not giving us energy, the whole show feels flat and it just felt flat for me. I was so like, oh, I was like just so frustrated because I could tell that this took months of preparation. The choreography was so intricate, the outfits, the amount of dancers, like the whole brass band that's so Atlanta. It's so like in the A, like you can tell so much went into this, so much thought. And I was just like, Usher, just look up from the ground, like look at it, just connect with me. And he wasn't, and I just don't know why. I want to know why. I'm thinking similar to like the way that J Lo did her documentary and talked about the run up to the Super Bowl and whatever, and aired some of her grievances about frustrations going on in the background. But you just I'm hoping that Usher does something like that so we get to see the behind the scenes because I need some justification for why the energy just fell flat in the actual performance. Like I saw him in Paris less than 4 months, 5 months ago, and you were so captivating, so in it, so like we were there. It was like I was the only person in the whole arena, and I just didn't get. You didn't connect. You didn't look in the camera. You just didn't. I don't know. I know Usher's great. I
no.
greatness, and I didn't get it, and I just
I'm so shocked to hear that, and I don't agree with that. I don't
fair.
agree with that. I my criticisms of the show was I okay, yes, Vegas theme, fantastic, of course, makes sense. Um, but I actually feel like there was way too much going on, and I actually think Usher got
I was busy.
lost in, like, you've got trapeze and someone's flying up and then the feathers and fast band and this person and that person's doing the splits, and it's just like, oh my god, okay, Usher, like, you're just this one guy and you haven't really given us any like visuals in terms of, like, there's no screens and there's nothing like that. So I kind of felt like it was just too much. Scale, take some of the trapeze artists out, take some of this, get rid of a lot. They could have
Yeah,
edited. I think I felt the I felt how important this was for Usher and how, like, what a moment it was. I felt that.
I could feel
Um,
that, but it's almost like he was overwhelmed by it. It was
I
almost like
think
it was too much. And I think part of it, 50% of it, because there's so much going on around you that you're getting lost. Another 50% of it just being that this is such a massive moment that maybe you're just super emotional, but shake it the fuck off. Like you've been in this industry for 30 years or whatever. Be a professional and just perform. And all I kept thinking
I
was,
think that's
oh, I know
unfair.
what everyone's gonna say.
You're being unfair. You can't say be a professional. He was an
No, you
absolute
have to.
professional.
No. I mean, in terms of give the performance that I know you gave in the dress rehearsal 2 days ago, because that wasn't it. That wasn't it. That wasn't the final cut. I'm
I
sorry.
don't. You're being a bit mean. You are.
Look, I watch it again. Watch it again, and you
I
see what I mean.
watched it
He
again.
performed to the floor, like for most of the performance, he was performing at the floor, looking at the floor. His whole vibe was just down. Like he, this is such an elating moment. Like I wanted to see him just taking it in and having fun. Like this is Vegas. You've got a Vegas party themed Super Bowl, and he didn't give that like energy even like yeah, because one of my another extreme low light for me, and we'll talk about the track listing, but the ending was rubbish.
Khalifa.
Rubbish.
Yes, I
Awful way to
100%. I 100% agree, and that's on my notes. Like, so I think so. One of my highlights was, and I think it kind of ties into what we're both saying. I loved it when it was just Usher. It was just him when he was doing Burn, and he was like, and you got it bad, and not you, yeah, you got it bad, and it was took off his shirt and he gave us all of this, and I loved that because I felt he was there, he was in it. All of
yeah.
that stuff was off the stage, and it was amazing. And then like, H.E.R comes on, kills it, and then we've got
Will I
OMG
am
and
was, but no,
Will
whatever.
I.
If I talk about Jermaine, like CeeLo
Oh
Green,
yeah, Jermaine
Dupree,
Dupri literally looked like the love child of Mrs. Trunchbull and CeeLo Green. Like, what the
yeah,
hell?
and LA Reid. Like, what was, why were you wearing schoolgirl summer dress, frilly socks? And like, what
Why?
the fuck was he wearing, first of all? And why were you even there? I get it in terms of the significance of like what you did for Usher's career, but you're not a performer. You're not like there isn't like a big song that you did with it. It was just like, yeah, well, here's Usher again. Like, why were you there in your awful outfit? Go away.
Can I want to talk about the
So,
set list. Let's talk about the set list
okay.
because I don't agree. I don't agree. 6 songs from the Confessions album is ridiculous. It's too much. And I know it's the 20-year anniversary. We love it.
Mm,
I love a stat, I love a statistic. That's actually the highest certified male soloist album this century. This century!
wow.
Better than your Justin Bieber's, your Drake's, your Eminem's, your
Your
Harry
Chris Brown.
Styles. This century. So we love the album. 20
Mm,
years, yes, and do your little tour when it comes out and put your not on the super like 6 songs for one album. That means we didn't get You Remind Me. That means we didn't get Without You. That means we didn't get DJ's Got Us Fun. Like we got that means we didn't get You Make Me Wanna. So many songs were missed because you want to do six
mm.
songs from one album. That's too much. That is too much,
It was
guys.
too much. And I get it that obviously we're talking about some of his biggest hits, absolutely. But it needs to be a range. Like I said before in our predictions episode, the Super Bowl is not the concert of the artist. This is a Super Bowl. You are
Exactly.
here to entertain people who never listen to your music, people who love your music, people who are indifferent. It's
People who
for
don't care.
people who don't give a shit and just want to get back to the game. Like this is for everybody. You have to be universal in your track list choices. He started off with My Way. It was a very just like meh, okay,
Started
like
off with
it's not bad.
caught up.
No, it was My Way for like a few seconds, and then it
Oh,
went.
okay. Yeah, fair.
And so again, like even that is like you didn't even give us enough of My Way to really enjoy. It was just like My Way and then a little dance and then into Caught Up. Caught Up is a great song. Is a one of
Dude,
my favorite Usher songs. Not a good starting song though.
I don't. Yeah, it's not.
Didn't really get the people going. Didn't like excite me. Like oh right, Usher's like
And
none of
even
those things.
his like now that I'm thinking, he just like kind of took off. He's got off from the seat, and
Shrugs
he
off
was
his
just like,
jacket, and this is what I'm talking about in the energy. When you watch it again, you'll see what I mean. It's like I wanted like this is my Super Bowl. I'm grabbing it by the balls, and I'm gonna just like fuck it in the ass. Like that's what I wanted, and I just got like in Canada. It's almost like not even a too cool for school because it didn't seem like you were trying to
no,
be
it wasn't.
cool. It just seemed
No, no,
like
no.
there's just something weighing on you. I can't describe.
Overwhelming.
Like it was
Everything was
overwhelming.
overwhelming, and because of I think it's the production. Like there was too much going on, so Usher, it was kind of almost difficult for him to really shine
Push
in the
through and
midst
shine.
in the midst
Exactly.
of literally the whole cast of the Las Vegas Strip on the stage.
Everybody in Las Vegas on the stage with you on the floor. And so again, like I'm really glad that, like I said in my prediction, that he was just going to do the riff from Superstar, and that was it. And that it needed that 100%. So I'm glad that that was in there, um, even though obviously yes, it was a lot from that album. I'm glad that that was in there
Yeah,
specifically. I do not understand Will.I.am's presence and what he was supposed to be bringing. Like, just I didn't even recognize him for until it, oh my god started playing. I was like, is that Will.I.am? Because you've been in a fucking helmet. Like, what? So that frustrated me. That whole section could have been You Remind Me. Could have been another great song. Instead, it was
honestly,
I don't know
honestly.
what was Will.I.am actually singing like in the
And
first
the
part.
thing is, he wasn't. OMG really was such a letdown because that was the most recent song that Usher performed. That was his most recent song. I know it was 2010, but everything else was from Confessions or like before that. So OMG is your last well, your most recent number one. That should have been, and it's so anthemic. It's audience participation would be fantastic with the
Yeah,
like
and
it
it made
missed the
sense in the
trick.
transition. It made
It
sense for
missed
you
the
to
trick.
go from one outfit to the next during that, but play more of it. You had Will.I.am rapping some random thing. I don't even know what he was saying or what he was doing. I don't know,
Yeah.
was it his song? Who knows? But you had him doing that for like 15 seconds and then 3 seconds of oh, whoa, and then that was the end of Will.I.am. You slid through his legs and nearly dropped over. So that whole section could have went for me. And then even like, okay, now we get on to Yeah, which we been knew was going to be in there. Whether it was going to be the last song or in the middle or Yeah was going to be in there. And I completely understand Yeah as an ending. I do. The
Yeah.
way it was done though,
So it started off, I was like, okay, after OMG, because OMG kind of visually started off great with the skates. Never seen that before. Fantastic, how fun.
yeah,
Then, like you said, this weird remix, and you're not really doing the song. It's just like, okay, that was 10 seconds and now it's gone. But then Lil Jon, like, he just turned down for what,
he
and
just
it's
it
so
got me
fun. And we're
livid.
like, okay, and everyone is going off because that's what Lil Jon's music does, and it's like
Ooh,
okay, and then we hear, "Du, du, du, du," and we're like, okay. I love Usher's outfit.
love
I
it.
love
All of his
what he's
outfits.
all of his outfits. I love them, and okay, and then Ludacris comes out, amazing. His verse is just the thing is, I don't actually love Yeah, but I do think it's Ludacris's verse and Lil Jon that like make the song
Yeah.
enjoyable for me because it's just such a middle of the road. Like it's a fine song, but when you hear okay,
It's just the makings of a hit. Again, it's not
yeah,
my favorite Usher song. I don't dislike it by any means,
yeah,
but
it's fine.
it's not the one that I'm throwing on like
No, no,
on
no.
a Sunday when I'm cleaning. But it is a tune, and so I was so glad to have them there. Ludacris did one of his most iconic verses at the Super Bowl. Congrats to him. That was amazing. His afro was amazing, and he really did bring that energy. But then now we had them all three of them together. So like we've had Little John, we've had Usher do his verse, we've had Ludacris do his verse, amazing. Energy just dropped, completely dropped after that. Just it was almost as like what's going on? Like Usher just looked defeated. Like you look
He didn't
knackered.
look defeated. He looked very happy. He looked very happy.
Watch it again. Watch it again. I was looking for the happiness. I was looking for like, okay, maybe it's not that you're. Maybe it's just getting to you. 'Cause I don't mind if there's emotion, even if it's like, oh my god, I'm just so emotional. I wouldn't even minded that, but there was just like hardly anything. I just was like Usher, and then he finished going like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was nonsense. That was
What?
rubbish. And I think like even though yeah, it's his biggest song and it kind of had to, even though maybe OMG would have been the better song to end on. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
fine
it's
good
fine.
choice to end on. But
The
the
way he did.
end, the way he did it was so wrong because like towards the end of the song, it's Lil Jon's voice that we hear like do the A-Town Storm, and Usher's not
Yeah,
saying anything, and I'm like, this is your Super Bowl. And I think that's why they added that nonsense at the end. It was like, I bring the A, I bring the A, I bring
yeah,
the
A to
yeah.
the world. And just what are you doing? What are
And it
you
was just,
doing?
and I
And then
remember
and
feeling
then it just
like,
cut out. So I just thought
yeah,
like maybe there was a mistake. Like I thought like, oh, like maybe he ran over time. It wasn't supposed to be. I wanted like, yeah, and like light
yeah,
fireworks.
absolutely,
I went,
absolutely,
and it was just
absolutely.
everybody was on the stage doing this. Like there
And I
wasn't
was
even choir.
expecting more. I was expecting more, which is a good thing. You want people to be wanting more. But I was like, okay, because it didn't feel like, and that's a Kal and Lak Criteria. Let's go, Kal and Lak Criteria number one. It's your last song. It should feel like the last song. It should
Mm.
feel like the
It should
last
feel
song.
conclusive. It should
Yeah,
wrap everything up. Like, right, okay, it has to have a crescendo. It has to have like a send off, and that just felt so strange. And again, this is why I think like something went wrong, and we're probably gonna hear about it because there is no way that Usher, who is a superstar, an insane performer, would end the Super Bowl like that. I believe in him too much to think that he would think that's a good way to end it. I think there was supposed to be something afterwards, and then they had to make a last minute change, and I just don't think he was happy.
you're
I
probably.
just
You know what? You probably are right because they. I remember seeing like TMZ reported that he was supposed to have 15 minutes,
mm,
and it was only 13 minutes, and so maybe there was actually a song that got cut because that didn't feel like an ending. I was just like, oh. I remember like I was dancing the whole way through, and I was standing up, and I was like, okay, we're gonna get Without You now. We're gonna get Jesus Got Us Falling in Love. We're gonna get,
yeah,
and then it's just like I'm in the eight to the well, and just oh,
yeah, and that was it. Everybody just danced like a choir, and then it just zoomed out, and I was like, okay. So yeah,
I
so
think
I don't want to make this a negative like thing because I enjoyed it. Usher is still the GOAT. This doesn't take away any of my feelings about him as a performer or nothing. Like, I still think he's great. I still believe in him 100%. I saw him do what I wanted him to do, so I believe that he could. I just want to know what happened. I want to know who upset my babes because something was off. Something was off in his energy, his vibe, his aura. He wasn't 100% present. I was really, really pleased with his vocals. He is such a great singer. He sang beautifully. I was really pleased actually, apart from Jermaine and will.i.am, I was really pleased with who he brought on. I thought it was perfect. I think her was a nice surprise.
yeah, it
Um,
was, but I'm not gonna do this episode. I'm not gonna do this episode without mentioning and scrutinizing and bullying Alicia off keys because no, no.
See, I the only
It was
note that
her. It was
she
actually
was
Alicia off keys. It was Alicia off keys that threw it because once he heard that first, how is that your first vocal and it's not right?
it
So
was
it
the
was
first vocal. It was everything else. She actually sounded really nice,
no, no,
but
it
that
wasn't. No, no, no. Watch it again. It wasn't. Even the like. How would you not sound good at the Super Bowl? Stop it! It's unfair. And no, so you threw Usher off, and it's your fault.
no, he was thrown off, but I don't think she helped. She definitely didn't help. Their moment was cute. I think like visually, her like sitting at the piano, the red
She
piano with
looked
the
gorgeous. She
with the
looked.
cape. It was a beautiful
She looked
visual. It really,
gorgeous.
really was. She looked. She's aging like wine. Amazing. But yeah, vocally, she didn't. She wasn't giving Usher.
I don't want to hit any because I've always said to Khalifa, Alicia Keys cannot sing. Like she's got, we love her. She got tunes. She can't sing, and I
I
don't.
don't
I'm
agree.
gonna.
I think she
You
can
don't
sing.
agree?
Just has
Let me
some
pull up
moments.
the. No, always some people.
Oh my god! No, she has some moments because it was the sum. That's what she started on like some, and it was like Alicia, like clear your throat.
You
Clear your
can't.
throat.
You can't sing. I've
She can
said it.
sing. She just struggles sometimes. She's not the greatest, but to say she can't sing is strong. That's very strong. Yeah, no, that was it. No, she didn't give. But
I'm so glad we got that song at the at the Super Bowl because again, I
mm,
don't think she couldn't do a Super Bowl. She's probably
no,
got like a good catalog, but I don't think she's got the star
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl
No.
energy that. So I'm glad that we got like such a tune, such an R&B tune, like If I Ain't Got You. Um,
Mm,
but you didn't sound good. You looked amazing, but you didn't sound good, and you threw Usher off, and I'm blaming you.
fair. That's totally fair. It really is. I mean, so okay, we've talked about the track listing. We've talked about our highlights, our lowlights. What are you giving it out of 10?
I before I give that, I want to say because it sounds a bit negative, but I think Kal and Lak Criteria for Super Bowl is which Usher
Mm,
100% met. Which like I think of Rihanna. This is something that she didn't meet, but I think for Super Bowl, you need to make me want to go and see you, whoever you
mm,
are, whatever kind of music and art you've put on the stage. I want to be like, oh my god, I want to go to the Usher concert. I want to go to see. I felt that. Like, I
yeah.
felt like I want to go and see Usher. Like, what a show it's going to be. Like, oh my God. I was really excited. So I
Mm,
think you did that, Usher, in that sense, in that, in for that kind of like criteria, you 100% made me feel like I want to go and see Usher because the hits, the the dancing, the vocals, like, yes, I want to go to see Usher. And that's what you need for a Super Bowl.
100%. I think that criteria was definitely met. I also think that Super Bowls do need to have sections as well. Something I don't think that Rihanna's was missing. Rihanna's kind of felt one note. Like it was just not many transitions from start to finish, whereas Usher's you very much had like the part on the grass felt like one section, and then Superstar led you into the Usher only section, and then the skating led you into the final section. It felt like it had a structure. I think
I
we when you just
disagree. There was no the rhythm either. So, and this goes back to the set list. Like from caught up into you ain't got a car, you ain't got a car. Like didn't really for your first two songs. No,
Yeah, no,
no,
no, not that the track listing was off. Like those shouldn't have been the first two songs. But I just like the fact that it was like we've got this bit, then we've got that bit, then we've got that bit. She took us on a journey. That's what it felt like. I feel like the song choices could have been different, but
should
it
have.
definitely felt like okay, we're going from the Vegas show to the Usher show, and we're gonna get his vocals and he's like
Okay, okay,
breakdancing,
yeah,
and then the final part we're gonna get his like rollerblading and the Atlanta
okay,
representation. Like
yeah,
it felt like it had
yeah, yeah.
sections. That's what I meant. Yeah, so we started off high, then we went slow jams, and then we went back to high. Good structure, poor song choices. In terms of other criteria, the starting and ending songs were just it didn't hit at all. No, let me rephrase. The starting song didn't hit the criteria. The final song could have hit the criteria if it was performed better, in
Fair.
my
That is. I'm not disagreeing. That is actually
opinion.
fair.
So out of 10, right? And I want to be fair because I did enjoy it. I know that we sound like we did a lot of moaning, but it's only because I put Usher up with the greats. Like I put him, he's on a pedestal for me. Like this is no joking. I'm going to give it 6.8.
No, you're not. That's ridiculous. I can't remember
Right.
what you gave Rihanna's, but I'm sure it was higher than that.
Definitely was not. I can't remember what I gave Rihanna, but it was not a 6.8. I can tell you that for sure.
6.8.
Six
I'm
point.
going to give it a 8.1.
That's high.
That is high because I just loved seeing Usher on stage, and I loved the
Okay, on
moment.
reflection,
I loved
just
the
because of
R&B
like the
moment.
moment, like what it meant, like I'm gonna give him a 7.1. A 7.1. He's in the sevens, but it's a low seven.
That's fine. I think 8.1 because I will probably have to look back and see for what you mentioned about like him looking down because I didn't really notice that. I did think I'm probably thinking now something did happen because yeah, that's there was no fireworks. Where's the fireworks? That's another kind of like criteria, like fireworks.
Where was just the like ending? Like
There was the hit the pose. There was no hit. You didn't hit the
You didn't
pose.
you didn't get the pose like the come on. Yeah.
Something happened.
Something happened. Yeah, you had 150 people on the stage. Like, and you just do this. It doesn't make no sense.
Yeah, I'm giving it an eight. An eight. I'm giving it an eight
Hmm.
because I loved it, and I really loved seeing the songs. Like you don't gotta call at the Super Bowl. Like what? What the R&B that has? Like, are
It's
you being
it's up,
serious?
yeah, that's a moment. It really is.
Loving this club. What? Eight. It's an eight.
But
It's an eight.
I just want to say that I'm going to see Usher when he's coming.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
really excited, and I'm really, really proud of him. And I think he's had the most outstanding career. And here's to Usher. Honestly, like you are amazing. And yeah. Now, now, on to other news. Very, very quickly.
So you said before you on the last episode you were like, this is gonna be my top five. Is it in your top five?
It's not. It didn't make the top five, unfortunately. I'm sorry. That was one of the predictions that I got wrong. And it had potential to. It had all the potential to, but I just like part of the performance for me. When you take away the theatrics, the dances, the whatever, I need that. I needed to like capture me, and that was missing. So unfortunately, not. But it was still great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, on to other news that happened in the Super Bowl. We're going to very, very briefly touch on this because this is Elsa's episode, but it would be remiss of us not to mention that Beyonce, the Queen, not only did she take up, so for those who don't know, obviously the Super Bowl is like one of the most watched things in the history of
Ever.
anything.
Yeah.
Whenever they have the halftime show, the commercial that follows the halftime show is usually like the biggest one. It's like the ones that have put in the coins, they have paid to be like the first commercial after the halftime show. It's a big deal. This year, that spot was given to Beyonce alongside Verizon, who's like a network provider in the US. And she did a really cool commercial. It was really, really
So
fun.
fun.
Really, really fun. Watch it. But at the end of it, she teased.
She's like, all right, let's drop some music.
All right, let's drop some music. And so, for somebody like me, who is a reverend at the Church of Jesus, you can't say things like that, Beyonce, because it just makes me not want to sleep now. So, within 2 hours, an hour,
No,
she
less
had,
than that. It was like 10 minutes.
yeah, like I fell asleep. I had work in the morning, but within 10 minutes, she had released two new songs and also announced the release of her upcoming album, Act Two, A Renaissance, which sounds like a country album. It's just Beyonce. Could you not let Usher just have his moment? Like I love you, and I'm so excited, and I don't like. I cannot even contain myself. But like, girl,
Are you really? That's how you feel?
yeah, like at least like the next day or something, because you know that she would have got attention. She would have got eyes on it anyway. So you didn't need the Verizon commercial, like
I'm
on the
sorry. Like, I know people are gonna feel the same way you do, but no, like, this is, I want to promote my album too. Like, Usher, you just did the Super Bowl, but okay, so that's
no,
amazing.
I just like just from
But
a brotherhood, sisterhood perspective, just like let him have his day. This should have just been the Usher day. Now it's like the day that Beyonce teased Act Two, as well as
well,
the Usher Super Bowl.
well, bitch, if you went shitting, then get off the part. Then get off.
I mean, obviously, I'm happy. Like, I'm glad, and I can't
I know
fucking wait.
people. I've seen like people on Twitter be like, "Do you think Beyonce would be happy if some?" But so that's the name of the game. It's the name of the game. It's not RuPaul's Best Friend Race. It's this is my album on the 29th of March. So deal with it. So deal with it.
Fair, fair. That's totally fair. Well, okay. So very quickly, like, you've heard the songs. What do you think?
I've only heard them because this is so like soon for us to like be recording. So I've only heard them once, each song once. Um,
Okay.
but 16 Carriages is definitely my favorite of the two. So there's one called Texas.
Oh,
What's it
Texas
called?
Hold'em.
Texas Hold'em. But 16 Carriages. It's so beautiful. Like I love this. What's the word? Introspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, like very just Beyonce just talking, singing, like very open and honestly, but beautiful vocals, of course. But that's the one that like my soul was just like, okay, I'm not gonna cry. 16
Yeah,
characters. Yeah, I love it.
it was beautiful.
I love Beyonce. It seems like this is going to be like a country kind of moment. I love that like Beyonce's now reclaiming country music as a black genre. Because period.
Whether you like it or not. Country
Because
Music Awards, whether you like it or not, let's not forget, like we are like there are black people who live in the south of like North America. There are black people who are country singers, and like let's just you cannot try and claim it. So I love that for her. I also just love the confidence of her at this stage of her career doing
yeah,
music she wants to make.
yeah,
Like it's not really about like, oh, I'm trying to be, number one, or I'm trying to like
no,
make popular music. I'm trying to chase what the young kids are doing. Like I just want to make a country album, so I'm gonna make one.
that's
And
the
that's just
thing.
so
That's the thing for
commendable
me.
for me.
That's the thing for me. That's what gets me. Like I she said this in her film, but you can tell that like she loves her 40s. She loves this. She loves it,
Mm.
and
It
she's not.
feels like a renaissance. It feels like a period of rediscovery and just doing things for her. Like she talks about it in 16 Carriages, just spent
Yeah.
so much of her career just working herself to the bone. And it's like I'm reclaiming my time.
So
Um,
if that means doing the advert in the after Usher, do it. Do it. Do
fair, fair.
it.
I would say, I mean, what's my favorite? I love them both. I really, really do. I don't think I have a favorite yet. I've listened to them like on repeat since I woke up. Um, so I pretty much know all the lyrics, and her vocals in 16 Carriages are so subtle but so good. And Texas Hold'em is just so fun, and like I love the vibe of it. And I can imagine if she does a video, and you better do a visual. It's gonna be so amazing. Now, one of the things that really did like intrigue me, and maybe this is just like me being, but in the teaser that she did, there was a yellow taxi and it was giving telephone, it was giving Lady Gaga driving off into the sunset. So I thought maybe there's going to be a part two of Telephone, as they said, because it did say, to be continued. It did say coming soon, and then it's been 20 years. So maybe, because it just feels right, like as a country album, like Gaga did country music. So could this be another collab? Like, who knows?
Oh my god! If you get this right, hire us. Like because we obviously know what we're talking about. Like at that point, it's like,
Yeah. If this happens, then listen, I want to be on the tea. I want to be on the tea. So yeah, no, I'm really excited. This was an amazing last 12 hours, however long it's been.
yeah,
It's been such an exciting run up to the Super Bowl as well. It really has. Like I've enjoyed the whole process. And well done, Usher. We love you over here.
yeah.
And Beyonce, we can't wait. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know, do you agree with the highlights, the lowlights? Am I completely being awful? Or do you see what I mean? Let us know your thoughts. And I guess we will catch you in the next one.
We well, that's why you're.
Yes.
Bye. I've been the roll to the A.